Well, it indicates, unfortunately, the worst case scenario that despite all the very, very clear messages that have been sent by the president, by Ambassador Haley, by Secretary Mattis, by General McMaster, the regime in North Korea wishes to escalate the tensions. There are some very simple things they could have done to bring down the tension, including stopping ballistic missile testing, which they refused to do. You saw the third launch across Japanese territory last week. Now, with this latest detonation, they are going in exactly the opposite direction. The blackmail, the nuclear blackmail, that the West has been suffering for decades will not be countenanced by this White House. And the president has been very clear, no options are off the table. The ball was in Pyongyang's court. They refused to de-escalate, and that is bad news for the region.
Well, as you know, Secretary of Defense Jay Mattis says that the U.S. has a massive military option, but John Bolton, the former U.S. ambassador to the UN, says that the U.S. has been fooling around with North Korea just long enough, and he says the only solution to ending the problem at this point is this.
I think the only diplomatic option left is to end the regime in North Korea by effectively having the South take it over. Anybody who thinks that more diplomacy with North Korea or sanctions, whether against North Korea or an effort to apply sanctions against China, is just giving North Korea more time to increase its nuclear arsenal, increase its ballistic missile capability, increase the accuracy of its guidance systems, and put us, South Korea, and Japan in more jeopardy.
But the South Korea government doesn't seem to be on board with that idea. Trump, who threatened over the weekend to pull out of the U.S.-South Korea trade agreement, tweeting that South Korea is finding that its, quote, talk of appeasement with North Korea will not work. Dr. Gorka, why would the president attack and even threaten South Korea?
They're not threatening South Korea. South Korea behaves in ways that really have not demonstrated their understanding of just how serious the situation is and the lasting ties that bind us here in America to Korea. Let's not forget all the Americans that died on the peninsula in the Korean War after 1950. So we want to see seriousness from the South. We also would like to react, I think Ambassador Bolton is mixing two things up. Just because you need to deal with a threat doesn't automatically mean you have to do regime change. This president, and I've heard him say this in front of me, he is not interested in regime change. That is un-American. The idea that we go to foreign lands, we occupy them, and then we try to change them into our image, he sees that as un-American. What we are here to do is to deal with threats to America, to her allies, and to her partners, including South Korea.